Hey everybody, what's up? This is Jeremy and Harry the Harm Reduction Frog from the Southeast Harm Reduction Project, aka SHARP. Today we're going to talk about who we are, why we're here, and what we're trying to accomplish. So, let's get to it. So hey everybody, welcome to my humble library. I've redirected things a little bit, reorganized the studio, and got this webcam pointed at all these books behind me, so you know what a smart guy I am.
Actually, he's only read about 7 of these books, ribbit.
Yeah. I've read at least 12 of them, Harry. But whatever, thanks for keeping me in line. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, our mission statement is really simple. It's just one sentence. We aim to develop a network of harm reduction and overdose prevention organizations, drug policy reform advocates, public health professionals, and mental health and substance use treatment resources in the rural, urban, and suburban South, and to fill in gaps where services don't currently exist. And I don't know if you all know anything about the South, but that's a pretty ambitious goal because there's not many services, especially in rural areas like where I live in North Georgia. But I think we can do it. Harry thinks we can do it, and I know that a lot of the people that I work with on a regular basis know we can do it and are working to make it happen. So let's move on to our 5 core principles. Number 1, we meet people where they're at, and what this means is we provide services in a non-coercive, non-judgmental environment which encourages the development of healthy lifestyle skills and improved quality of life. And that comes with no strings attached. We don't demand that people conform to a certain set of behaviors as a condition of receiving services, which is a little bit different than what you'll see with a lot of government agencies, charities, and especially treatment centers and rehabs, which a lot of times require you to follow a really long set of rules, and if you violate just 1 or 2 of those, you're out of there living on the street. We want to avoid that. Number 2, nothing about us without us. And this is one of my favorite things about harm reduction, and one of the first things I was introduced to at the first harm reduction conference I went to in Atlanta several years ago. And basically it means that we believe directly impacted people deserve a voice in issues which directly impact our quality of life, health, and our personal safety. This means developing spaces for people to share their lived experiences without feeling judged, and for people who don't have the privilege of being able to speak out, recognizing our responsibility to make sure their voices are included in the conversation as well. Number 3, harm reduction is a movement for social justice and liberation. Our movement was born from and is still rooted in the need for social justice and accepting people as they are, and realizing that everybody has something to contribute to this movement. We work to reduce the social stigma faced by people who use substances, sex workers, people with mental health disorders, people in medication-assisted treatment programs, people living with disabilities or other health conditions, and people from other marginalized groups. All this happens through a variety of approaches, including policy reform, advocacy, and my personal favorite, direct action. Number 4, this is an inclusive movement. Harm reduction shouldn't be narrowly focused on substance use or any other single issue. Harm reduction in the United States was born out of the struggles of people living with HIV and AIDS in the 1980s who were being denied access to treatment and health services by the state. And what they did is develop their own networks and their own solutions, and that's what we mean by direct action. Since then, harm reduction has grown to include things like substance use issues, sex work, mental health issues, people still living with HIV and hepatitis C, and other health conditions. And we owe a great debt to those who fought, went to jail, and even died to get us where we are today. And finally, number 5, we recognize that harm comes from many places. Much of the harm caused to substance users, sex workers, and other groups is usually a direct result of laws and policies meant to protect them, and usually those policies fail to include the voices of directly impacted people and almost always have a counterproductive result. They criminalize people who are already at risk and create dangerous and even life-threatening conditions. And so this is a really important issue. People use substances for a variety of reasons, including poverty, trauma, social isolation, marginalization, and we'll get into some of these reasons in another video that focuses specifically on substance use issues. Many sex workers are criminalized simply for engaging in consensual acts to support themselves or their families. And some people work in the sex industry because that's what they want to do, and that's their business. It's not our place to judge. It's our place to stand beside them with compassion and respect everybody's right to dignity. Our primary goal is to reduce harm and develop effective strategies to make life safer for ourselves and the people we serve. And these videos are kind of a fun, sometimes silly way to get information out about serious issues. This is a really exciting time to be doing this work. The South, if you can believe it, is actually leading the way in a lot of ways in harm reduction, overdose prevention, and drug policy reform. And SHARP and other groups like us are really excited about the opportunity to build a new world where everyone can feel safe and accepted and comfortable with being open about who they are. Before I go, I want to send a really big shout out to the students and staff at Forest Hill Academy in Atlanta for having me come and talk with the students and really to listen to and learn from their lived experiences. And it was a really eye-opening experience for me, and I learned a lot. And not only are these kids brilliant, but they're fighting survivors. And I hope to be back and talk with and hear from and see you all again soon. Until next time, stay safe, practice harm reduction, and as always, thanks for watching.